Hey, welcome to another episode of the Whiskey and Whitetails YouTube channel. I am Gus.
Beat me to it. I'm Matt. I was going to say, what's a whiskey episode without a whitetail?
Whiskey.
Or whitetail episode without a whiskey.
And a whitetail. Woo.
Yeah.
So, what we're going to talk about today is not spilling whiskey all over the... Yeah. What we came to you to talk about today is...
Weller 107.
Weller 107.
Just kidding.
And how to manage your scent when you're hunting like away from home. And when I say away from home, I mean backcountry hunt or public land, or you're away with friends somewhere remote and you don't have access to your normal power sources, washer, dryer, that kind of stuff.
We've been like a lot of that because we've been to fish camps before, and their washer and dryers like...
Yeah, it's a little nasty.
Yeah, you'd be screwed if you washed your hunting clothes in there.
Yeah, so what can you do when you're on the road, when you're traveling, you don't have access to, even if you have an Ozone box, you know, maybe the plug isn't working or you don't have access to a place to plug it in. Some of them are battery powered, which is nice if you have that, but some people don't. So what can you do? What can we do? What have we done to manage and mask our scent?
And Gus, Gus, has prepared 4 talking points for this. Number 1
is prepare ahead of time, which is like should be number 1 on everything. Prepare. If you know you're going to be remote, if you know you're not going to have access to maybe a decent shower, power, washer, and dryer, plan ahead. Maybe you need to bring multiple sets of hunting clothes. Maybe you need to bring or buy field wipes.
Some people we know vacuum seal their clothes and put them in airtight
whatever works for
bags.
You. And I think I'll just say it now, it's a theme throughout stuff like this, is what works for you.
I just had an idea. What if you took a giant vacuum sealable bag and put your clothes in it and then, food prep air sealed it.
Yeah.
And then when you kill something, you're saving space because now you already have the bags. You can cut the bags up and put meat in it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Just thought about it.
Yeah. That's a really good idea, actually.
Yeah. So you can do that too. That's 1A or 1B. We already did 1A.
So yeah, just be prepared. Like prepare ahead of time. If you need to put stuff into totes to because a lot of people hunt locally, right? They grab stuff, they throw it in the washer, they maybe throw it in a duffel bag and they head to camp. Or I see people change at home and spray when they get out to the truck, before they walk into the stand.
Yeah.
Some last minute stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The bottom line is if you're going to be away from civilization or far away from a store, your normal everyday things, you need to prepare. Think about what you're going to need ahead of time. That's the number 1 thing.
Prepared. Number 2 is...
Ozone unit.
Yes.
Think about it. I used to be like, and so I started using one. And now I'm like, whether you just use the unit to sort of sanitize and clean your gear, or whether you invest in one of the in-blind or in-stand, like tree-mounted ones, take a look at them. Especially if you're going to spend money. Here's my thing. Like I used to think it was kind of silly. However, the more we travel and do hunts, the more I want every advantage for it to be a successful hunt as possible, because we're investing time away from our families, money,
well, if
resources.
You figure how much money a trip costs versus, link to the video Gus did. It's up here. Link to the video up there. I forgot they always put it up there.
Yeah.
So link to the video he did on the Ozone box.
Right.
How much was it?
It was less than $100. You can do the whole thing for less than $100.
If you're spending $3,000 on a hunting trip and then not spending $100 and keeping your scent under control, it's kind of like...
Well, and so that's to take care of your gear and clothes. Right. And then they have the units you can put in the tree that blow that ozone along with your wind and mix it up so it's harder for the deer to smell you.
Which we don't have that.
We don't have that, but it's $100 or $200 for a real fancy one. And like you said, if you're spending all this money for a hunt,
right.
What is it to spend a couple extra to give you a little bit more of an advantage?
But the tub is like no negotiation because you're out of town. You can't just come home and throw your stuff in a washing machine.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost a non-negotiable topic. You should have one.
And ozone binds to bacteria molecules that cause odors, things that the deer smell, and it neutralizes them. So it's a proven scientific thing.
Particularly the CO56 particle, which is in scientific terms, I have no idea. I'm just making shit up.
Oh shit! I was like, I'm about to get learned real quick. But yeah,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so it's using ozone for that has been around for hunting is new compared to how long using ozone units have been around for other things. It's been used for a long time. So consider it. If you're going to be traveling, again, this is all specifically geared towards when you're way away from home, camping or backcountry type hunt.
When you stink.
You
can't take a shower.
And having that tub or that duffel bag to come back and put everything into, run that cycle, get everything neutralized is a great way to help with that. And when you can't do that, and what I like to do in conjunction with that sometimes is the next topic, which is
point number 3,
smoke and light. So
you do light, I'll do smoke.
Okay. So UV lights have, if you're not aware, a awesome ability to kill bacteria. That's why things don't survive well in the sun, including humans after a while. If you leave them out there too long.
They get a little sunburn.
Yeah. Putting your clothes in the sun, if you come home, if you're hunting, for example, morning, coming back for lunch, then going out in the evening, take your clothes off, put some other clothes back on.
Tell them, not me.
Take your clothes off and then put other clothes back on, but put your hunting clothes in the sun. Let them get beat on by the sun's rays so that it kills that bacteria if you can. If you're not able to do that, then
you hunt from daybreak till dawn.
Then you're going to have to come back and try some other methods, such as
smoke. This is we've been told it's pro tip. We've been told that it doesn't work. We've been told a lot of things. However, I can tell you that I know videographers, I watch their stuff or talk to personally, and they go on these hunts and they will smoke not only their clothes, but their camera equipment. And they will smoke it at a campfire at the end. Like they'll set a campfire shoddily, so there's a lot of smoke, and they just leave their stuff there and they get filled with smoke. And the reason why is because that smell is natural. Deer smell it all the time. So they don't think much of it. But how do you prove that? How do you prove anything?
Try it.
Yeah, try it out.
Yeah.
I can say that I've done it before. I saw a deer that day, but that doesn't really mean that it worked. However, it makes more sense that they would smell smoke as opposed to your stank whatever and your deodorant or whatever else you may have.
It beats the smell of whatever you were cooking later that night or, anything else. So, and then on top of treating it with sun or smoke, once you do that, get it into a bag or into a tote where it's away from other smells, right? Because as the evening progresses, if you're having a little something to drink or you're cooking or whatever, there's going to be other smells. There's going to be things that could kind of latch onto your clothes and cause you problems the next day.
And this is also something that we used to not consider too much as being an issue because we hunted kind of in town. But once you get out to these remote parts, for instance, where we hunted in Kentucky, where there's just no humans, they can smell you immediately. And
they don't have a whole lot of other things confusing their senses, right? Where we hunt, we're not too far outside of a small town. There's neighborhoods that aren't too far away. They're used to hearing dogs. You can smell the grill. All those things that come with people. Out there, it's so remote. They experience those far less and are far more, I think, attuned or sketched out a little bit by some of those things. So,
but it's just a huge point in this. You may think, I've never had to worry about scent control before. We hear about, Uncle Bob smoking cigarettes, drinking beer up in the stand.
Yeah.
And again, there's a time and place for that. But when you get out to these remote locations, for instance, when we went to Colorado, the elk hunt, there was no humans there.
Yeah, there's no humans there.
And getting away from camp, if you are camping, you probably don't want to try and hunt right around camp. You want to get away from the smell and the noise you made and the percolator or whatever else you were working on.
Yeah, because most animals don't want anything to do with that anyway. Yeah. So that's it. Smoke and UV lights, store it afterwards, but still also spray if you can, like your sprays.
Yep.
For your treat your gear and yourself with some sort of wipe down. A good segue for sprays is also attractants and
step number
cover.
4.
That's number 4. Attractants or cover sprays, cover scent. So this can come in the form of, name one, Matt, in terms of smells.
Well, before I do that, I want to remind you that cover can be concealment, but concealment cannot be cover.
Roger.
So, and yeah, so I'll name one that, I'm just gonna, I don't care, nose jammer. So it works. I watch it work. We've watched it work several times. We've had hunters with us that watch it work and they go, okay, now I'm going to start using that. I don't know who makes it. I don't know anything about it. I know it's in a red can. I know that it's made out of ragweed, and I know that ragweed is the only thing on this planet that I'm allergic to. And when it gets on my skin, I develop little spots, so I can't use it.
But
it's
made from, what you said, ragweed, right?
Yeah.
And that, for whatever reason, messes with a deer's ability to smell.
Yeah. When they smell it, it gives them like I didn't read the label, but the guy was preaching it to us said 5 to 10 minutes of, so they can't smell it. It messes up their senses for 5 to 10 minutes or so.
So that's a benefit, right?
Yeah. So they can't smell you if they smell that nose genera. But it also goes on very thick and waxy like. So I think that I could probably put it on my clothes or my boots and just try not to touch it a bunch. But I also don't know. I mean, you could also read the label and it's like, hey, this is all synthetic ragweed. You're full of shit. And then it was just something in my head that was causing hives. But I 100% had breakouts from it.
Yeah.
Not breakouts, but like rashes.
Got it.
Yeah.
So that's a good...
that's one of.
Yeah, that's one of. But you also have dopey and, buck and rut, all these different sort of... And you have the actual and synthetics. Make sure you take a look at what your local state laws are, because just last year, the year before, South Carolina passed where you can no longer use those that are made from actual deer urine. It has to be synthetic.
Unless it was harvested here.
Right, but the stuff you buy on the shelf, it's all synthetic. Yeah. Other things are things that smell good, attractants, like sprays that smell like apple, or things you can put out that have smells to them, smells like maple or acorn.
Which, if you're going to spray yourself down with something, I would not recommend doe pee.
Don't do that.
But it's great to spray on bushes or anything that you touch coming in.
Yep. I like to put it, if I'm in a stand, I like to put it 5 or 10 yards in whichever direction is going to be behind me with regard to the wind. The wind's coming. Spray it about hip high on some foliage, and then let the wind pick that up along with my scent. And it tends to help. I've had deer come right up to whatever I sprayed sometimes.
I've done that for dropping something or needing to change trail camera cards while I'm out. I'll spray it. If I plan on hunting, I'll spray where I was standing. But I've also done it straight from a tree stand in heavy wind when I know that... I'm like, this is a good time to do it. I'll just spray it, and because then the wind will take it with it.
Right, yeah. Especially if it's an attractant and you can get it downwind. That's a really good idea as well. So taking all those things into account, we are not sponsored by, nor are we paid to promote anything that we mention brand-wise. These are just things that work for us. If you have things that work for you, we want to hear about it. We're interested. We're always looking to learn more. And I know that things are different in different parts of the country because the terrain and the environment is just different. So I'm always interested and curious what sort of things you do to manage your scent that are maybe outside of the norm, outside of some of the main things that we listed today. Give us a shout out.
Yeah, leave those in the comments and tell us if you do something that no one else is doing, or you don't think anyone else is doing, or we didn't cover.
Yeah, or especially if we didn't cover it, because we'll do a follow-up to this and we'll cover some more.
We will.
All right. Until next time, folks, you know where to find our socials down below. Check out the subscribe button, if you like this stuff. Maybe a little notification bell so you know when we get this stuff. That helps us know what you like. And give us a thumbs up, man. Well, maybe we'll follow you back or something. I don't know.
Can you do that? I guess you can follow people, yeah. You know what? We're going to go follow everybody back to follow us on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, we should.
Yeah, so as of today is 14 September. On 30 September, we will follow everyone back.
You heard it here first, folks. Until next time.
See ya.
Cheers.
Left hand salute.